Hello, and welcome to our 2023 Legislative Preview. I'm Marty Ranowski, CEO of the Pennsylvania Medical Society. And with me today is Dave Thompson, our Senior Director of Government Relations. Dave, thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
What are some of the top early priorities you're going to talk about to these legislators?
Well, it's challenging for sure because we are going to have 30 plus new members of the legislature. And these are individuals who really don't know what PAMED is and what we're about. So clearly, we have our job cut out for us with respect to educating those individuals about who we are and what we do and the issues we have concerns about. When I look right now to 2023, until the Board of Trustees prioritizes our legislative agenda, there's a number of things that come to mind. And I'll just tick off a few of the top ones.
Sure,
credentialing legislation, something we had explored a number of years ago. We are going to revisit that this coming session. The time it takes to get a physician credentialed with a health insurer is just ridiculous and unacceptable. The other thing we're looking at is non-compete clauses in physician contracts. Clearly, physicians who are employed by hospitals or health systems have frustrations that they don't have portability. They can't leave one hospital to go with another system because of a restricted covenant. Similarly, we've got physicians who are in private practice that want some of those same protections so that their practices aren't poached by hospitals.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to be doing is looking at that issue, trying to draft legislation that kind of addresses both sides of that issue. Telemedicine, an issue that has been ongoing for the last 6 or so years. We're trying to get it across the finish line. We've gotten it across twice before. The governor vetoed it. So we're going to try another stab at establishing a statutory framework for telemedicine here in Pennsylvania. Last thing, scope of practice. Nothing happened this past legislative session, but for sure we're going to be looking to next session. The nurses will come back and want independent practice, and other medical providers are going to want to increase their scope of practice as well. So scope of practice is the perennial issue that we'll be once again dealing with next year.
And again, this is a bit of a hypothetical because, as you said, we're not going to know who the majority is in the House for a little bit yet. But given these issues, and these really are patient-centric issues, how does Zach and Wayne deal with a potentially divided legislature? How do you get a message across that can bridge both parties?
You know what? We work very well with both parties, and we have done that for years. PAMED is not a partisan organization. We do not necessarily support Republicans over Democrats or vice versa. We work with both sides, and we have garnered relationships, very good relationships with both sides. And in fact, starting a few years ago, we started to garner some more relationships with the current individuals who are going to be heading the House if it's democratically controlled. So we've established some relationships just in the last couple of years with some of those leaders. But it is challenging. There's no question about it.
Well, I want to say thank you, first of all, for the 2021-22 legislative session. You and your team did a phenomenal job. I know the start of 23 will be a kind of fog until we see how everything settles out, but I look forward to the efforts. And again, everything you talked about, it's patient-centric. It's helping our physicians get back to the art of medicine and really treating their patients. So I want to thank you and your team for all your efforts.
Sure. You're welcome.
And I would like to thank all of you for joining us today to talk about the 2023 Legislative Preview. Please stay tuned and look for more information on our legislative agendas as well as our 175th anniversary coming up in 2023. Thank you for what you do every day on behalf of the 12.8 million Pennsylvanians who are your patients and rely on you. Have a great day.